So my intention with this video is to talk about Uranus in the 8th house. Because I actually said that I was going to do this sometime earlier this week and I didn't get to it. And I'm trying to do this right now with a house full of people, so let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that this wonderful Uranus video can make its way onto the World Wide Web without any frustrations. Especially because I have a child with Uranus transiting his 8th right now, and so anytime that I tend to do these videos, he seems to run in here and want to talk to me about everything under the sun, astrology related. Uranus in the 8th house. The 8th house is a dark area of life. It rules sex, death, drugs, rock and roll, all the fun shit. No, it's sex, death, taboo subjects, occultism, shared resources. It is a very psychic house ruled by Scorpio, so it's pretty much, think of like a scorpion and the things that they stand for. Sex is a huge one, obviously, on regards to the 8th. And with Uranus placed there, people, as Uranus is like the planet of like rebellion and individualism and kind of outside of the box thinking and doing things to pretty much marching to the beat of your own drum. Placing Uranus there will make somebody very, very fluid in this area. Taboos will not be an issue. It would be like if you had Aquarius in your 8th house, but like jacked up and on steroids. Because as I like to explain, like rulerships, Uranus would technically be like the father of Aquarius as its ruling planet. Uranus in the 8th, what else do we have for this one? A lot of people with Uranus in the 8th can experience some pretty cool shit too, like unexpected like inheritances passed down like through generations to them. They can be like super broke and then all of a sudden come into like a fuckload of money, because where you see like the second house being like finances, that's mainly like what the native or like the birth chart holder obviously has to bring like on regards to making money. But in the 8th, it's shared resources, so it can definitely constitute to like resources that are shared by others or inheritances. And with Uranus there, like there's a really good chance that you could come into a lot of money that was passed down to you by someone and not really even like knowing it necessarily. Like somebody whose parents like had like money kind of tucked underneath like the mattress and they weren't really aware of it, and then bam, they have like a shitload of money. But with Uranus being a game changer, it can either go that way or it can kind of go in a negative way too. If you have like adverse aspects to Uranus in your 8th, you can experience some crappy stuff like going bankrupt out of nowhere. It can go both ways. Uranus is very, very common for doing that. One of the things that I think that's really cool about Uranus in the 8th, which I've read like a lot about this placement, I don't even know why. Actually, like I really don't have a reason as to why I researched it that much, but I did find it really fascinating. Oh, maybe it was because I think my solar return Uranus is in my 8th house. But I also found it fascinating, anyways, that a lot of people with Uranus in the 8th have been reported kind of knowing with that like their death was going to occur, or knowing that like something bad of that nature could happen to somebody else that's close in their life, because the 8th house is a very psychic house as well as like the house that's ruling like death and rebirth. We're dealing with like a planet that can see into the future. So a lot of people like will know like when their death is coming, that it's like kind of looming around the corner, and like they can experience like kind of like prophetic like visions of like, yeah, death related shit. But not only death. Just the 8th house in general is a very psychic house. So they will also have like very prophetic like visions in general. Just be very, very psychic in nature, and it will come out of nowhere because it strikes down like a lightning bolt. Uranus is erratic. It's out of nowhere. It won't be something that they can necessarily tap into on their own, like willingly. It will be like, bam, that's Uranus energy. Uranus is also known for like ruling the occult and like quote unquote magic. Like it's supposed to be the planet of like manifestation. You have Neptune, which is like dreams, but Uranus is supposed to give you a vision to kind of be able to manifest things. So it's cool. Uranus in the 8th is definitely cool. I think that out of all the places for Uranus, this is probably like a badass place to have that planet, just because there are so many like positive implications. Uranus being so rebellious, like in certain areas, it can cause like frustrations. Like for me with like Uranus my second, oh, that's badass. Like it's great to be able to have this like uh, innovative, like original thought in regards to like making money, but at the same time, like within like sorry, the second house, you're known for like having a lot of like big fluctuations in money. In the eighth house, Uranus is kind of kept in like a more safe area, just because even though like it rules like death and stuff, it's normally not a harsh planet to have in your eighth. Just because I didn't add that part as well. I'm sorry. A lot of people with Uranus in the eighth end up experiencing a death that is unexpected and comes out of nowhere, but it's not a painful one. So like even though they can still live like long into like their whatever, like old age, depending on the sign of your eighth, you could see that. But it's more so like their death just comes out of nowhere. It's painless. They didn't know it was coming. Like this is the person that like, I mean, as shitty as it sounds, it really kind of makes it better the fact that they didn't experience any pain. Like somebody that like gets in like a car accident and gets like their head chopped off. And even though that sounds like very gruesome, like it happens so quickly that it doesn't like they don't linger on. They don't experience like pain and like anguish and death. With the Uranus there, it really is like a lightning bolt. It's a lightning bolt death too. So yeah, you're dealing with sex that is very, very fluid, like a sex life that has no boundaries really, doesn't believe in taboos or nothing, anything goes with Uranus in the eighth. That's a really good way to put it. Like these people are going to be into exploring all kinds of different fetishes, sex in many different flavors and forms, and they're not going to care at all. They're not going to attach any like taboo to it. It's just going to be on the basis of like individualism and doing what the fuck you want to do whenever you want to do it, because that's Uranus anyways. Um, you're dealing with unexpected inheriting of money. Sorry, my brain kind of just went foggy. And the potential for bankruptcy, but more so you see a lot of positive things normally with Uranus in the eighth. There can be like huge fluctuations in money though as well, and that's probably the only downfall really. But the psychic aspects are pretty fucking sweet in my opinion. The flashes of insight, even the death thing. I mean, people like don't like hearing about death and they're like, death isn't really something I want to talk about. But you know what? If it fucking comes out of nowhere and like you don't feel anything, I'd take it over Gemini in the eighth, like me. Like I'm supposed to die of fucking lung cancer, so I should probably not smoke. Definitely not. But yeah, that kind of little bit of rambling. And I can't believe I just made it to about like 8 minutes without having anybody barge in here and stop me. So Uranus is on my side today, obviously. So yeah, that is Uranus in your eighth. Is there anything I didn't cover with that? I don't think so. I think that's about it. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.